that easy.
Hello, it is story time at Family Tree Clinic. My name is Jacki, and I am repping the engagement department, where you can find me talking to other parents about normalizing conversations about sex, sexual health, sexuality with our kids. Because when kids are armed with knowledge about their bodies, it supports them growing into healthy, happy adults. So you can find me, you can email me even at jtrelawney@Family Tree Clinic to set up a time to have your own session to talk about what you're working on and what development stages you're experiencing in your families. So today we are talking about babies and how babies are made and what goes into making a baby. And now this is a really complex reality. It's very magical. And there's going to be lots of conversations over a young person's development about what makes a baby and how babies are made. And today we're going to root ourselves in some really basic knowledge. And this information is great for young people under the age of 5. And if you're over the age of 5, that's fine too. Okay. If you're 25 and this is the first time you've learned about this information, that is just fine. So I'm going to read this book. I might add a little bit of my own flavor, but go ahead and join me and Cory Silverberg, the writer, and the illustrator, Fiona Smyth, talking about what makes a baby. What makes a baby? Written by Cory Silverberg, illustrated by Fiona Smyth. This book is for Beto, for Jake, Jenny, and Soul, and for Zoe, and for classy Craig Daniels. All right, shout out to y'all. This is a story about how babies are made. The first thing you need to know is that you can't make a baby out of nothing. You have to start with something. This is an egg. Not all bodies have eggs in them. Some do. There's an egg. There's an egg. There's an egg. And some do not. No egg. That's not an egg. Inside the egg are so many stories all about the body the egg came from, like books they like to read, hats they like to wear, plays they like to go see. Ooh, puppet shows. That happens a lot where I'm from. And a little bit of information about their DNA. This is a sperm. Not all bodies have sperm in them. Some do. There's a sperm. There's a sperm. There's a sperm. And some do not. That's not a sperm. No sperm. Inside the sperm, just like inside the egg, there are so many stories about the body the sperm came from, like family members they might have, books they like to read, places they visited. Ooh, it might be cold, and information about their DNA. When grown-ups want to make a baby, they need to get an egg from one body and a sperm from another body. And they also need a place where the baby can grow. This is a uterus. It's a place where a baby can grow. You might think that that everyone has a uterus, since it has the words you and us in it, but not everyone has a uterus. Just like eggs and just like sperm, some bodies have a uterus and some do not. There's a uterus. There's one. I can't really see. That's fine. No uterus. No uterus. And every body that has a uterus always has it in the same place, just below the belly button in the squishy middle part. Now, when an egg and a sperm meet, they swirl together in a special kind of dance. And as they dance, they talk to each other. And the egg tells the sperm all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. And the sperm tells the egg all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. And then when their dance is done, they are not two things anymore. They've danced around and shared so much that they've become one brand new thing. And look at this thing. Look at it. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. At first, it's just a tiny thing. Sometimes this tiny thing does not grow into anything, and the body just gets rid of it. And sometimes it grows into a baby, like you. Who helped bring together the sperm and egg that made you? There's all sorts of people that have a sperm and an egg, and that's how they started. Every single person. So who was happy that it was you that grew? We can talk about that at your home. Everything that grows differently. Each of us grows in our own way. And how a baby grows depends on the stories that the egg and sperm share and the uterus the baby is growing inside of. There's a lot that goes into that. But before a baby can be born, it has to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it turns into a baby. And that usually takes about 40 weeks. 40 weeks. Sometimes the baby is ready to come out on its own. Sometimes a midwife or a doctor will be the ones to say it's ready for the baby to be born, or it's time. No matter who decides, the baby does not just hop out on its own. Some babies are born by coming through a part of the body that most people call the vagina. And there's a baby being born. Yep, somebody's catching the baby. And there's the person who's giving birth. And other times, doctors will make a special opening below the belly button, take the baby out, and then close up the hole. And that's called a C-section. Whichever way the baby comes out, it's a pretty big deal for the baby. It's also a pretty big deal for the people who waited and waited and waited for the baby to be born. It's also a big deal for the person who's giving birth. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it hurts a little, and sometimes it hurts a lot. But usually everyone needs a lot of rest afterwards. Oh, lots of waves of emotions. Lots of waves of emotions. And everybody's story is different. Who was waiting for you to be born? There's all the people. I make up stories about who some of these people could be in my life. That's the end. What makes a baby? By Cory Silverberg, illustrated by Fiona Smyth. I love this book. I think it's a really great addition to conversations about sex and sexual health, and specifically about babies. Now, this book, along with other books, I think are really useful to fill in some of the gaps that are in a story for making a baby, because we all know that there's a lot more to tell. So Thank you so much for joining us at Storytime here at Family Tree. And yeah, if you are interested in having conversations with me about sexual health and talking about sexual health with your kids, hit me up, email me at the letter J, and then the last name is Trelawney, TRELAWNY at familytreeclinic.org. And I'll put that on the screen here. Thanks so much. Happy reading.